everyone. In previous lecture, we have gone through how loadings are acting on various components, as well how we can configure or analyze a system depending on the load criteria which are available to us. In the sessions, we have also gone through if flat plate chassis define what is going to happen under the action of loading condition. Then we have shifted for the chassis which is formed by L section, and then we have switched to commercial vehicle chassis which is formed by C section profile of steel. Whenever the assembly is done, it have represented major change in load carrying capabilities or strength, and also the deformation what it have identified, the analysis have represented was totally impressive, as we are able to see that the deformation in flat plate chassis was too much high. When it have switched to L section, deformation was somewhat different. When it had switched to the C profile section, deformation was there at the flat profile, but it was not there in the vertical profile of C section. So we can get maximum stability in that kind of chassis. Now we do have to think from where this automobile chassis body formation have started, because whenever we observe the chassis formats or the body formats of any automobile, whether it is commercial vehicle or it is non-commercial vehicle, it is from something which have been available from earlier era, but we are not seeing that particular aspect in automobile design. According to the understanding, design have started from this. I think you are able to see the screen. We have started understanding automobiles from bullock carts and from horse carts. I'll go in detail. Are you able to signify or understand which kind of chassis have been formed? Whatever we are saying is as a ladder chassis. You can see a seasoned wood and bamboo sticks had been used to develop that chassis in previous era. But it is a ladder frame chassis. You cannot deny that aspect, whether it is ladder frame chassis or not. So the concept of ladder frame formation have came from this particular aspect, what we have not yet kept in our mind. So how it have been configured? A two-wheeled member have been designed. In the next season, I think electric vehicles are also going to design on similar aspect. They will have an engine which is separated from the passenger vehicle. Now you can attach any system with the engine. Money here we'll see it as a railway engine. We'll visualize it as a railway engine, and you are placing multiple buggies after it. So this is the criteria. Mercedes have already launched that kind of system where you are having a separate driving assembly and separate carrying assembly. Now carrier assembly, maybe it is a passenger cart, maybe it is a wagon which holds too much material in it, and maybe it is sequence of multiple engines carrying multiple load with it. So this is the criteria what we need to go through. So the bullock cart, what we see, is having two wheels mounted on an axle, which is having a frame on it, which is having a driving assembly going to be attached to it. You can see another bullock cart over here. Some are used to carry passengers and some are used to carry load with it. And there are one or two bullocks who are carrying this whole system with particular load. How they have been assembled? We are having wood sticks which are attached using different metal strips. You can say side members are going to be attached by using this plus sign sheets. We are having profiled things also, and we are having plates which are screwed or nailed. Plates are nailed to wood sticks in particular format to have particular strength, and there are also use of fabric to hold the joint at particular location. If you have seen the bullock carts, you will find it. The second important chassis form was the horse cart. Now you can not imagine how they have developed this stuff. You can see the first buggy. There is an axle which is having two wheels and leaf spring I formation is there. In automobiles we are using semi-elliptical leaf springs, and in these horse carts they have gone for complete elliptical or full elliptical leaf springs. It is having driving assembly with front wheels. So front wheel with axle are turning on its axis. So this was the approach what have been identified to design a chassis, which is further extended to have a full buggy formation, which is ladder formation we can say, which is nowadays utilized in our automobiles for commercial application or heavy load application. So from where it have came, you cannot say directly Ford have implemented it. It have been there in use from many years, but at the when industrialists have seen it and tried to implement it, the horse cart manufacturers now then have then become the car manufacturers. We cannot directly say they have become car manufacturers, but they have given the supply for particular stuff to form an automobile. We are aware about supply chain management and all. And the newest development is like this. If you want to have a horse cart, you can have assembly like this. You can have horse, and after placing this whole assembly, you may have a good automobile. So this is the configuration. In commercial aspect, you can observe it like this. You can transfer water with this particular stuff. You can transfer multiple carriages by attaching 2 or 4 horses together to carry passengers as well load. You are able to see chassis forms in different cars at the bottom, as well the commercial application unit. Okay, so these are the formations which have been available. Which loads are acting on a system will be specified, and chassis formats are going to be specified depending on this. So after this, how a body can be configured for an automobile or for a transportation vehicle. So they have gone for formation of wooden frames which have been introduced commercially in an automobile. Chassis have been identified and designed according to the criteria. Here what we are seeing is a ladder profile chassis in which we are having crossbars and sidebars as well. At the central zone we are having intersecting placements of sections. You can even see it like this. So here what have been done according to the criteria of manufacturing of today's era, they have gone for development of multiple chassis. What I am showing is the bottommost region, the bottommost horse cart chassis what we have seen in our slide is now as available as commercial application as a chassis. We are having twin tube frame also. So we are having the sidebars made from tubes, and we are welding tubes to form a strong assembly of chassis. But it is weld, so we will not call it an assembly, we will call it as a frame. Backbone structure is also there, where major load carrying capable member is the backbone, and this have been introduced by observing the human skeleton and the bone structure which joins the head portion and the leg portion. So backbone was the structural formation which have been implemented. So major strength is available in the central zone which holds whole structure together on it, and other components are welded or riveted together. The next formation is tubular backbone, means we are observing it as a backbone of human body, but it is generated by using tubes. Multiple tubes are there. And after that, after using it, you are implementing multiple components on it to have detailed understanding of particular component. Here tubes are made by using different aspects. Tubes are assembled together to form truss structure to have good strength in it. Next is triangulated tubular structure, in which you are just working on frame development of whole body as well chassis. So here the component is not subjected to just carry vertical loads, it is subjected to have torsional loads, bending loads and all. By formation of truss in particular manner to carry engine loads, to carry passenger loads and to carry all other component loads. The newest configuration what you can see was roll cage formation, and this was there in 1995. In this we are having a base frame made from square section or C section, and multiple pipes are welded together in particular format, and it have been creating a complete cage in which a driver have to sit. So what is going to happen? When driver sits inside this roll cage, there is least much possibilities of damage to a human being inside it. Why? Because the complete strength of whole structure is too much high. So if we find any impact or any vibration, there will be least much damage to the driving component or driving person. After that, monoc formation have been introduced. This is nowadays utilized for high velocity trains. So it is also one of the construction what you can observe. Then Kunt chassis was also there, in which you are not having C-section profile or tubular profiles, you are just having profile sheet metal to have maximum strength in it. And how this works, after welding this, it is having huge strength. You can compare this one with the sheet metal available at roof. If some load is applied, you can visualize a monkey jumping on flat sheet metal, it will bend the sheet metal. But if profile corrected, profile sheet metal is placed on truss, and if a monkey jumps, then there will be least much damage or bend in that component. So whenever a sheet metal is profiled in particular manner, it is going to show you maximum strength. Keeping in mind this, the component have been designed. Then saloon body is also there, chassis is separate, and whole cage is designed, welded, configured, and then whole cage is going to be assembled. Here we are not using cage as a word. Condition is that we are using sheet metal rather than using pipes or steel bars. So the strength of upper body is going to be good as it is profiled by sheet metals and welded together. Spot welding is also preferable for that case. Body space frame is also this is the newest criteria which have been implemented in lot many cars. So the profile what you see is having various components optimized to have particular strength in automobile for a particular load carrying criteria. So the space frame is also important. But when we implement space frame, we are having multiple components to attach with. And while defining that attachment, we need to concentrate on the strength capabilities of this particular space frame. So whenever this one is designed, the design engineer, automobile engineer, is going to take care about how much strength is required at particular zone when it is going to be assembled on a chassis. Another format was unitary body, where chassis and body are welded together to have particular strength And in some regions, we are placing steel bars within a body to hold a component in particular format. And the modern latest configuration, which is available in all cars nowadays, is integral body configuration, where we are using combination of space frame as well twin formation and monocoque. So this is the criteria through which we are getting the high strength system. System means car body. Fuel cell is also there. Where we are having the whole configuration of body profile and chassis. We just need to assemble the engine and other components in it, and the system is going to be ready to work within 1 hour. So this kind of configuration are helping us a lot. Now, which is going to be the most important factor in our components? The stiffness. Which kind of stiffness we are targeting on? We are targeting on torsional stiffness. Why particular torsional stiffness? This is also an important question, because the load which acts on component is going to bend that vehicle's chassis, bend a body, and the loads which are going to be introduced are twisting and bending the components, whether they are plates which are assembled at top, at side, or at bottom. As well, the bending loads which will carry whole load on it, bending components that are sidebar and crossbars which will carry that component, and it will bend a component in particular way, and due to that deformation, the benchmark outcome of an automobile will not be there. So we are finding major losses in terms of maintenance of whole automobile. Engine will take more load, and due to that there will be overheating of components, and due to that you need to maintain those components in shorter time. So the optimal utility is not going to be identified. So it can create major losses. So the first component on which we are concentrating is torsional stiffness. Variable is torsional stiffness. This sedan ranges in particular way in new body profiles. The sedans are having torsional stiffness of about 8,000 to 10,000 Newton meter per degree. So you can see the denominator is designating angular deformation. Why? Because we are working on torsional stiffnesses. And luxury vehicles are operating or having the torsional stiffness. Whenever I am saying luxury vehicles and torsional stiffness, then it is not torsional stiffness of whole vehicle. We are working on the torsional stiffness carrying capability of components. So here luxury vehicles are having 12,000 to 15,000 Newton meter per degree of torsional stiffness. Previously, when the designs of automobile have started, previously, before 30 years or 40 years, the condition was the body profiles are capable enough to just take 934 Newton meter per degree of torsional stiffness, or it is having this much of stiffness, and luxury vehicles are 3390. And they are also having least operating speed. So speed is the criteria which controls whole system configuration, chassis quality and body quality. Whenever the speed increases, you will see a Formula One racing car which is formed by using monocoque configuration, and the material which is going to be utilized is majorly carbon fiber composite, sandwich material with steel. It is having torsional stiffness more than 30,000 Newton meter per degree. For the composite tub alone, you can imagine if a sitting assembly and monocoque is made for the stiffness capability of 30,000 Newton meter per degree, then there will be least much deformation under action of loads. And as it is having least much deformation, the stability of system increases under the action of dynamic loads. Under static load, this will be stable configuration, but under dynamic load, if your component is stressed for 30,000 Newton meter per degree of torsional stiffness, then also it is going to be stable. We are aware. force is equal to stiffness into deformation. So force by deformation is going to be the stiffness of component. As it becomes more stiff, what does it mean? It means that it is capable enough to take more load with least much deformation. This is the configuration what we need to see. So according to our requirement, we should not go for 30,000 Newton meter per degree in our routine practices of automobile design, but we should at least go for 8,000 to 10,000 Newton meter per degree of torsional stiffness in our components. What are the loads acting on components? We have gone through this aspect. I'm just redefining, reconfiguring that concept in your mind. There will be a configuration of automobile like this. Front passengers are there, rear passengers are there. We are counting for 2 passengers at front and 3 passengers at back. Center of gravity of vehicle is going to be at center. We are planning to place gearbox over here. We are planning to have steering box over here. Engine will be available over here. Radiators are going to be placed at particular zone. Steering box is going to be placed. Luggage space is going to be defined. Petrol tanks are available at particular zone, and a chassis is defined which is carrying all the load what I have mentioned. In this case, the shear force and bending moment diagram is going to be like this. We have already seen this, so I'm keeping this over here, this image over here, and switching on to the stiffness criteria and loads acting on chassis in particular format. How you should observe it, because if you are observing it in particular way, then you are able to design a new format of chassis or to analyze a chassis. We are majorly concentrating on analyzing a chassis. As a designing of component is going to have many components to consider. There are variables what you should consider. There are loading conditions what you should consider. So multiple things are there while designing a chassis or a body. If you are not designing it in proper way, there is maximum possibility of failure. So the maximum number of variables what you can visualize are going to decide the maximum stability of an automobile. Stability in terms of minimum deformation while carrying maximum load, or optimal conditions for load and deformation criteria. Here optimal means there will be maximum load carrying capability and minimum deformation in individual member, or as a whole assembly there will be minimum deformation. We have been concentrating on torsional stiffness. When we have started a lecture, we have been concentrating on this factor only, torsional stiffness. So what is that torsional stiffness? We'll say it is K. K, which is equal to Gj by L, where G is shear modulus, J is the torsional constant, you can say, and L is the length of member. And how much torque is going to be applied to a component? It is K theta. So if you are having value of K, if you are arranging your system's deformation in terms of theta, then you will be able to identify how much torque is going to be there. And if you are having torque value available at the component and stiffness value of a component, then you will be able to identify how much torsional deflection it will define or twist it will define. And how to find the torsional constant? It is J equal to 4 times A square T by S, where AE is cross section area, T is thickness of member, and the section is going to have particular modulus. Here, from where this particular concept of loading has been introduced during World War II, many things have happened, and they have been designing many vehicles for passenger transport, for ammunition transports, for medical transports, and all that. So the development of road holding, depending on suspension geometries, need of stiffness calculations, whether to push the system or pull the system, how it can be welded for pulling conditions, pushing conditions, how a sheet metal can be pressed in particular way to have maximum strength in it, because profiling of sheet metal have given much impact. in safety. Whether to use tubes or not, these are the criteria to which we have gone. And here we are seeing the steel body chassis frame configuration when it is configured as unitary chassis body or it is configured as steel body which is bolted together. So whenever bolting is done, the twist for application of particular load have been found minimum, but the deformation was maximum. So this bolted chassis frames are not accepted. So what we should do, we should weld it together and there will be minimum, you can see a small portion available over here. The loop which is formed was minimum one, and here the loop which is formed while loading and unloading was maximum. So there is huge deformation in components when it is bolted, and there is least much deformation in component when it is welded. And this least much deformation makes it more stable. So this is the preferable condition for us. Now we are having a design criteria, simple structural surfaces observation in an automobile body, whether it is commercial vehicle or it is passenger vehicle or it is for general purpose use. So in this simple structural surface model, we are having multiple components to observe in a complete body of an automobile with chassis forms. So when we are concentrating on body, there are going to be loads working on that body profile and sheet metals which is considered as surfaces on which loads are acting. So here the load which is available in chassis is directly considered as reaction loads available from chassis to the body, and now we are targeting the body simple surface structural surface configuration. So we are having front and rear members which carries maximum load, as we are able to see the transverse floor beam from front section carrying the front passengers. So this particular component is going to carry maximum load available from the front passengers in static and dynamic conditions. You will be able to see one over here. When you are seeing two, there is transverse floor beam, same kind of component for rear passengers. So this is going to be the second configuration. You are able to see 3 and 4 over here. So what is this 3 and 4? It is inner wing panels carrying the powertrain. Powertrain, we'll consider it as the engine as well the gearboxes and the driving mechanism, the turning mechanism and all that. And we are also having support designated from front suspension on this 3 and 4 member. We are able to see 5 over here, which is the dash panel, which is transverse panel between passengers. So whenever passenger, you can see between passenger and the driving assembly or powertrain. So whenever anything happens to it, powertrain is going to be separated. It is separate from the passenger. So if due to any condition, there is issue of the load which strucks to the or we find frontal impact on the component, then the powertrains are not going to damage the human being. So for that, separation panel has been arranged. We are having sixth member, which is the front parcel shelf on which we are placing our components. We are placing some stuff for us. 7 and 8 are the rear quarter panels, just like 4 and 3 and 4. But it is for luggage load. In front section, it was for powertrain. The 9 number is panel behind the rear seats. So if there is a back impact on automobile, we are saved from the components of back impact. Rear parcel shelf is also there as 10 number. There is floor panel as 11 number. Floor have been arranged as a panel. Left and right hand side frames are also available. You are able to see the 12 and 13. These are the frames. Windscreen frames are also available. We'll be able to see 14 over here. These are the windscreen frames. Roof panel is also available. Roof will be at top, so this is going to be the roof panel. Here we are not discussing sheet metal attachment. It is just panels to hold components at proper place to configure a particular shape. And after that, we are going to have a complete construction of surfaces and how loads are going to transfer to those surfaces if we are finding this assembly on our chassis. And 16 is backlight rear frame. You are able to see 16 over here. This is for the back form or back profile. In general aspect, which are the loads acting on component, we are merging all loads of powertrain and calling it as a front passenger ends, this FPT, that is the main loads of powertrain. First FPT, you are able to see FPT over here. The luggage F1 is available over here. So we are having FPT and luggage. Then we are having front passenger seats. Load is going to be counted over here. Then rear passenger or rear seats. This is over here. And this is the reaction from the front and this is the reaction from the rear. L is the length of an automobile. LPR is the length for passenger from the reaction component or replacement of reaction region. LPF is passenger distance between the passengers at front and the hinge region. This distance is going to be called LPT, powertrain length from the hinge region. This is going to be LL, luggage length from the region, hinge region. So this is the general loading diagram, what you should understand. Now we are having just 1 minute left.